guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Joanna if you've never been here before, and today I'm filming my LASIK experience. So I have decided to get LASIK eye surgery to correct my vision. I wanted to share this video with you guys because I know so many of you out there probably have vision that you want corrected. You've considered LASIK. It's an expensive procedure, and I want to give you guys a complete overview of my experience, talking about my vision, giving you vlog clips, bringing you along my surgery and my recovery, and then talking to you at the end about how I feel coming out of it, why the cost breakdown works for me, and yeah, so let's just get into this video. We are going to talk about my vision first. If you guys want to skip ahead to any of the other parts, I will leave chapter labels down below so you guys can just skip ahead if you don't want to hear about my vision, or if you just want to watch the vlog clips, or you just want to talk about the money aspect of it, you can go ahead and follow along down there. But without further ado, let's get into it. So to understand why I've made the decision to get LASIK eye surgery, I think it's really important to talk about my vision. So I started having to wear glasses in about the 3rd grade. Up until about middle school, my prescription kept changing, and around 8th grade I got my first contact lens prescription, and from 8th grade until today, I'm 25, my prescription changed only half of a increment, and it's been stable since then. So as of today, at the age of 25, my prescription in my right eye is -5.5, and in my left eye it's -5.75. Essentially what that means is that I am both nearsighted and farsighted. Overall, the way that I explain it to people is that I have very, very bad vision, and I can't see anything more than about 6 inches in front of my face. So where my hand is now is about the length of my vision if I weren't wearing contacts or I'm not wearing glasses. What that means is that on a day-to-day basis, I either 100% need to be wearing my glasses or my contacts. In my daily life, I wear contacts every single day, unless if there's for some reason that I need to wear glasses. I do have a pair of glasses. I've had this same frame for about 3 years. The reason why I really wanted LASIK was for 2 reasons. I found in the last about 5 years that my glasses made me dizzy. They made me uncomfortable. I couldn't drive in them at night because all the traffic lights had too many halos around them, and I found it very disorienting to be in my glasses at night. Now, I could wear contacts all the time, and I was really relying on them from about 6 in the morning until about 8 at night, but that's not good for your eyes. Your eyes can't breathe properly, and you're supposed to wear your glasses more than you are your contacts. So overall, it's just not great for me to be wearing contacts all the time. Now, while I love to wear my contacts all the time, and they are a near perfect solution for me, there are times that I need to wear glasses because contacts simply don't work for me. And times that I face that are on airplanes. I was also having a problem with contacts whenever I want to have a glass of wine. My eyes have an intense dryness problem, and contacts were just very, very uncomfortable on top of that. And it's just not how I want to live my daily life. So contacts, while they're a great solution for me, they weren't a perfect solution for me. So that brought me to really seriously considering LASIK. LASIK is a permanent solution. It's only a short 1-day surgery, and from people that I've seen go through it, especially my sister, the recovery was pretty easy and pretty quick. So those are the reasons why I wanted to do LASIK. So once I made that decision, that's when I went forward with booking my consultation and actually scheduling my surgery. So I booked my consultation for November 12th, and when I went in for my consultation, I had to stop wearing my contacts for 7 days prior to that. So I stopped wearing contacts on November 5th, and I went in for my free consultation on November 12th. On November 12th, they told me that I had eyes that were suitable for LASIK, that my prescription had not changed, and I was an ideal candidate, and they checked the thickness of my cornea layer, I guess, or my cornea wall, and they told me that it was perfectly thick enough to do the surgery and also to potentially handle doing a touch-up surgery down the line. So at the consultation, we went over the price, the surgery specifics, the kind of pre-op procedure, and then the post-op procedure, and then we went ahead and scheduled my surgery. It was kind of a quick turnaround. Since I went in for the consultation at the beginning of November and Thanksgiving falls at the end of November, I decided to wait a couple weeks to have the surgery done, and I booked it for December 11th. Prior to the surgery, I did have to go in for one other pre-op appointment, and I decided to book that out for December 8th. So only 3 days prior, and the reason for that was because, again, I had to stop wearing my contacts for a full week prior to December 8th. So I stopped wearing contacts for the last time on December 1st, and I went in for my pre-op appointment on December 8th. They okayed everything, and then it's time for my surgery on December 11th. So that brings us up to date, and now we can go into my surgery, my recovery, and everything after that. So let's see how I'm doing.
Is it recording? Okay. So I went and got my LASIK eye surgery. I'm hoping I'm in camera because my eyes are closed right now. And I'm gonna put these sunglasses on top of them because brightness is pretty uncomfortable. The surgery only took about 10 minutes, and I went and got French fries after because that was my personal treat. But overall, everything was really quick and easy. You just kind of had your eyes open, and you can tell that they're doing things to it, but it's not really uncomfortable. It's just odd. And you start on one table and then you move to another, and within like honestly 10 minutes it was over and done with. So I think everything went well, and then the only thing that you do afterwards is basically try to go to sleep. So I will check in with you guys later, and yeah, that's it. So I'm all done. Okay, so I am out of the surgery and I have made it back to my bed. My eyes are still closed. I can squint them open a little bit, but not, it's more comfortable, I think, to keep them closed. Like, I can squint open my eye a little bit to see what's going on, but it just kind of like feels odd to do that. So I am going to take a nap. They gave me a Valium-like tablet when I got in to just relax you, and then before you leave you take a like Advil PM that's just supposed to help you sleep, because the more that you sleep the better it is for the healing. So the operation maybe took 10 minutes, so overall it wasn't that bad. You are lying down on like a table and they prop open your eye with a device. You have numbing drops in, so you don't feel anything, but you just kind of feel pressure and a little bit of discomfort. You lose vision for like 15 seconds and then it comes back. They count it down for you. So then after you're in the first table, they do that to both eyes, the 15-second countdown of pressure and losing your vision slightly. And then they walk you over to another table, and I guess they do the final adjustments with opening a flap and things like that. And that maybe took like 2 minutes, and then you're told to stand up. You can open your eyes a little bit, and immediately I could tell that I could see more than I was able to beforehand. Like, it seems like I hadn't contacts, but that there was a film over them, which was very interesting. And then afterwards they give you the Advil PM. They give you your first shot of drops, which are supposed to prevent infection and I think promote healing. I'm not really sure. So yeah, so I just wanted to check in before I pass out for a number of hours, I'm sure, and just talk about what happened. And again, I'm not in pain right now, but it is a discomfort in my eye. Like, it feels like you put in eye drops that just really sting. So I'm hoping that that goes away in a couple hours, but I know that it's really only until tomorrow that you deal with this at all, so not too bad. I sound a little bit congested, I'm not sure why, but that's probably just because my body feels a little bit off. Okay, so now it is time for my eye drop, so I'm gonna put in this one first. This one is called afloxacin, so I'm gonna put this in. One drop in each eye. And it stings a little bit, but I can see fully across the room. So that's pretty cool, actually. And now I have to wait 5 minutes before putting in the other drop that they gave me. Okay, so I quickly changed my outfit because I decided to wake up for the day. So I slept for about like 5.5 hours. They tell you to try to sleep as much as you can during the day, but I was like half awake for about an hour of it, and I just know that if I go back to sleep now, then I'll probably not be able to go to sleep a little bit later. And I had kind of said to the technician when I was in there that I would, like, if I woke up at 5, how to do the drops. So you guys just saw me take the first set of drops, so now I'm doing the second, which is something called Envelits, I think. And so I'm gonna open this up. And so I'm doing one drop again in both eyes. Okay, this one stings a little bit. Oof. So, what I had started to say before, but I don't remember if I finished, is when I was in the car, I told you guys that I had mild discomfort, and the eyes just felt like a little bit itchy and uncomfortable, but then that went away, and now I feel totally fine. Honestly, if I take the goggles off, I can see really clearly, but they do kind of get like a little bit foggy, but my eyes feel fine, and I can see completely normally, except maybe like it's just like not totally perfect yet, but that takes time to develop. And if you guys can see in my eyes, I am just like mildly bloodshot if I look around, just like right there, if you guys see that, and it's on both of the eyes. I'm guessing that it's just part of the incision, and they tell you that that's normal, and it doesn't change my vision in any way. So that is where I'm at now. I've set a timer to do my next round of drops in 4 hours, and then I'll probably won't do them again before bed. But yeah, seems really easy. By 5 o'clock, my procedure was at like between 10:30 and 11, so not too bad. Also, I ate all of the french fries. Okay, so I am back now. It is 9:20, so I'm a little bit late for this second round of drops. So I'm going in again with the antibiotic drop first. And I've done the one in each eye. So I'm gonna put the goggles back on and then wait just about 5 minutes to do the second set of drops of the anti-inflammatory. So just to check in on how things have been going, I can see now much clearer. The only thing is that in certain rooms of my house, like I've been moving around a little bit, and in certain rooms I find that my eyes are very light sensitive, and it's causing me to kind of want to squint or to just close my eyes. But generally, like in my room, actually, I think that the lighting in here is a little bit more comfortable. I'm probably going to go to bed fairly early today, just because it's better to sleep to allow your eyes to heal. But I feel really good about it, and if you guys can still see, my eyes just a little bit bloodshot right there, and then this eye is like just a little bit bloodshot up here in the corner. So these goggles, I FaceTimed a couple people and they were all like, what's with the goggles? So you have to wear these goggles after the surgery for, you know, the first full day, and then you wear them at night for 4 days. And they just keep things out of your eyes, because if you guys don't know how the surgery works with LASIK, they do like technically cut a flap into the outer layer of your eye, and they pull it back, and they do all sorts of stuff in your eyeball, and then, you know, they close it up. But when they close it up, it's still healing, so your eye should heal very quickly, but this guard just prevents things from getting into it and touching it. But again, no pain, no real discomfort, just a little bit of light sensitivity, a little bit of pressure in my eyes, but not to the point where I'm in any kind of pain or I feel like I need aspirin or anything like that. Okay, and just like that, which I'm sure is only a couple of seconds for you guys, I am going to do the anti-inflammatory now. This one stings a little bit more, so this is what it looks like. Just blinking them in and immediately putting back on my little safety shield. So now those are all of the eye drops for the first day. Really easy, just having to do it once every 4 hours, but since I was only awake for about like 7 hours here, or I've only been awake for 4 hours so far that I had to do it again, I probably won't do it again tonight because I don't plan on being up until like 1 a.m. So yeah, I will update you guys again tonight if anything else changes, but I'll probably check in with you in the morning. And I'm just realizing I'm wearing like a navy sweatsuit and my bedspread's navy, so I'm kind of blending in. But yeah, so that's day 1 of my LASIK eye experience. Good morning. So it is now the morning after my procedure. So I have my first post-operative exam. So the day after your surgery, they have you come back in just to check how everything's going. So I went back to sleep at about 10 o'clock last night, or I got into bed around 10 and just closed my eyes for a little while, and then I went back to bed at about 11 o'clock. So I got a pretty decent amount of sleep last night. I will say though that there was one thing that I did experience which I wasn't necessarily expecting, and I had kind of experienced it yesterday when I fell asleep during the day, which was dryness. So yesterday when I fell asleep after the exam and then or after the surgery, and then last night when I fell asleep about 2 hours later, I woke up with an extremely dry throat, and my eyes were very dry. The eyes being very dry was just last night. After the surgery, there was no eye dryness. So I woke up, and that was like, I guess at about 1 a.m. and it had I went and got a glass of water, and then I calculated in my mind that it had been 4 hours since I did my drops. So I did go ahead and do my eye drops, the 2 rounds of drops, and then I went back to sleep. And then I woke up one more time at about 7 a.m. I think, and again my eyes felt very dry. So I went ahead and did the drops again and fell back asleep for another like hour until my alarm went off. The day of your exam, you're not actually allowed to put on any kinds of face creams or anything like that, and for the week following your surgery, you're not allowed to put anything near your eyes. But I do want to just put on a little bit of face cream because I do get dry skin. So I'm just putting that around my nose and on my cheeks. And I washed my face very, very carefully this morning and very gently, just with my foam cleanser and like a little face muslin cloth. And then I'm not gonna put on any makeup or anything like that. Let's just do a check-in on the eyes so you guys can see that I still have a little bit of like superficial spotting is what they call it with the blood. So just on the inner corners, and I think like up top on this eye. And I think that's mainly from the suction device. And the last thing I want to talk about is vision. So I can see everything around me fairly clearly. The only thing that I noticed was very difficult was at some points if I go to read something, it might be a little bit harder. So like I have nail polish in front of me. I can read this when it's this close. I can't read it when it's this close. I can read it like as I move further away. And then depending on the size of things, I can read it. So like if it's an arm's length distance away, I can read it at a fairly small font. But then the moment that I like pull back a little bit, it gets a little bit fuzzy if it's a tiny, tiny font. So not the most scientific explanation, but hopefully you guys can understand what I'm saying. So I'm gonna go hopefully have a cup of coffee, and then I'm gonna go to my post-operation exam. Okay, so I wanted to do a follow-up. It's now 7:30, and it's obviously significantly later in the day than when I checked in earlier. So when I checked in earlier, I was going to the eye doctor for my one-day post-op. They said my vision was already at 20/20. It's not fully done progressing yet, so I'll know, I think I'll have a more definitive answer on Wednesday when my second post-operative, like my 1 week post-op. But they told me I could stop wearing my goggles, and again told me to switch over the medicated drops just twice a day. So since I did them earlier in the morning, I'm not going to do them now until like an hour from now or right before bed, because I took them at 8 in the morning, so I'm probably gonna take them at 8 at night now, so half an hour. What I have switched over to and have been using a lot are the re-wetting drops. So I'm just using the Systane lubricant eye drops. They're preservative-free dry eye relief drops, and I'm just putting those in my eye, 1 to 2 drops in each eye every hour to 2 hours. So I've been doing it roughly every hour as I feel necessary, and I'm figuring that as the days goes on, I'll be using it less and less. I felt as if I had a little bit of eye strain in this right eye. It's just like a little bit achy. I wouldn't say it hurts. It's just like it feels strained. It feels like I've had my eyeball open for a very long time. So I actually just kind of laid down and closed my eyes and turned off all the lights in the room. But yeah, definitely looking at my phone screen, looking at a computer screen or like a tablet screen is much more irritating on my eye. Looking at a TV was not very bad, it just wasn't perfect. And the thing that my eyes, like, I can see everything pretty perfectly at this point. The only thing that I feel like I'm struggling with are looking at lights. Okay, so since I've had sensitive eyes, I put on sunglasses, but it's time for some eye drops again. So these preservative-free eye drops come in little packs like this. You take a single-use vial, you twist off the top, and then you just do the drops. I like to do 2 in each eye, so it looks like I'm crying a little bit, and then they are single use, so you can throw it out after that, but there's still a significant amount of liquid in there. If you guys can kind of see, it's like up to here. So that'll last me a whole other drop. It just feels a lot more comfortable after the eye drop. So that is what I've been doing all of today, basically. Okay, so it is Sunday morning. It is my second day post-operation. I slept pretty well. I happened to wake up in the middle of the night, so I did put in some eye drops because I felt like my eyes were a little bit dry, but it didn't wake me up this time. And then I woke up and I again immediately put in the eye drops. So there are 2 things that I want to tell you guys about today. The first thing was actually when I was getting ready for bed last night. It was very
it was the first time that it was very bizarre to me that I could see. I kept having this inclination to take out my contacts, which obviously I don't have contacts in right now. This morning, I can see everything. I can see a million times better than, you know, my life before this procedure without any kind of vision enhancement. But at the moment, my vision feels just like slightly off. The way that I was describing it to someone yesterday was when you go for your eye exam and they like are testing out for your glasses and they have like that thing, the mechanism up in front of your face, and they're switching out the glass to test your vision, and they go back and forth between two options and they go like, is this better or is this better? Like, is this worse or better? Worse or better? And it kind of feels like that test, that my prescription is just like slightly off. So when I'm looking at the camera right now, everything nearsighted to me feels great. It feels super in focus. But the moment that I'm looking a little bit further away, it's like taking my eyes half a second to adjust to it. I can still see everything and I can read if I try to read, but it just doesn't feel quite as sharp as like perfect vision should. I think it has to do with sleeping and just like your eyes readjusting to being open again. And I'll keep updating you as like more important things happen, but from here on out it's probably going to be less serious updates. Okay, so we are on day 4. I don't think I checked in yesterday. Yesterday was better than the day before, but I did still have like a lot of dryness. I kind of feel like it's going to be more of the same. Yesterday, I was still finding that I was extremely light sensitive, so what I started doing was just wearing sunglasses through the house. You have to wear sunglasses when you're outside no matter what because you're light sensitive and you don't want to damage your eyes right now. But like if you have a lot of natural light, if you are with people who are turning a lot of the lights on, you might just find that your eyes are too sensitive for it. I'm going to do my medicated drops. I've been doing them at noon and at midnight. Today's the last day that I take them because tomorrow is going to be my 5th day and I have my week after post-operative appointment. This is what the blood spots look like, I guess. And you know, they said it could take 2 to 4 weeks. I feel like it's getting slightly better. I feel like it's gotten a little bit lighter. Like it's not quite as vibrantly dark red. And it's just a little less noticeable to me. I don't know if I've just gotten used to it. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know how people go back to work right away after this surgery because even though I can see totally fine, it's so uncomfortable to look at a computer screen for that long, to look at like bright lights for that long, to be in a brightly lit area. It's just your eyes can't take it. So it's not that I couldn't do it, it's just uncomfortable. So it's like whether or not you would want to go back to work, I don't know. Could you? Probably. Would it be the most comfortable? Probably not.
Okay, so it is now Thursday following my surgery. I want to just show you guys my eyeballs to start. So if you guys can see, this has definitely faded a lot. This eye is basically back to normal. And yeah, so it is a day after my 1-week checkup. I did that after 5 days rather than a full week, which worked out really well because there's actually a snowstorm outside. So if it had been today or tomorrow, I probably wouldn't have been able to get there. But they have cleared me to resume all of my normal activities. So as of yesterday, I could go back to working out, washing my face is normal. I could, I guess, sleep without my eye guard, but I'm going to keep that on for a full week period and then probably switch over to my eye mask, just because I read on some blogs online that they recommend keeping that on for longer. The only thing at this point is that my eyes are super, super dry. So in the beginning, I talked about how one of the reasons that I wanted this surgery was because my eyes were super dry in contacts at certain points that made it really difficult to like carry on a conversation with people without like going like this all the time. And that is kind of the state of my eyes a lot right now. So these Systane prescriptive free eye drops are like my best friend. I have this box of 60 vials and I've already gone through like at least a dozen of them. I mean, each one lasts me like 2 hours of like one vial of drops, so I can just keep reusing the same vial for a little bit. But without the drops, I don't know how I would be getting through this. So basically, at this point now, I'll go in for another 1 month checkup in a couple of weeks. But at this point, I have 20/20 vision that might still fluctuate and settle in to where it will be after about 3 months is when your eyes are fully done healing and like developing from the procedure, but they are healed enough to go back to my normal activities. So I feel really great about how everything went. It's really amazing that you can fix to some extent your vision in a day and to have such little downtime from it. Again, at this point, I have no pain. I have no problems with my vision. I am super happy with it, and the only thing that I'm dealing with at this point is the drops, these moisture drops just for dryness. So that is my probably last update. So today is January 7th, 2021, which means that I'm officially 27 days out from my LASIK eye surgery, which I had on December 11th. So now I want to talk to you guys about where I'm at 1 month post-procedure, how everything is going with my eyes, my final thoughts, and like cover any information that I didn't cover at the beginning of the video. So as you guys saw through all my vlog clips, I was healing really well for the first week post-procedure. I went in for my first week post-op, and then I kind of stopped vlogging because things weren't changing on a daily basis. So where I'm at today is that my eyes are basically halfway to 1/3 of the way totally healed. I went in for my 1 month post-op and everything looks really great. I was cleared to stop using the preservative-free eye drops that you guys saw me using a lot in the first week after my procedure. My eyes are still very, very dry. My right eye is significantly more dry than my left eye, which the doctor said is likely because I tend to sleep more on my right side. The dryness definitely gets a lot worse when I'm in an environment where I'm not blinking as much or when I get a lot of heavy airflow to my eyes. So since I was cleared to stop using the preservative-free eye drops, the eye drops that I now am going to start using once I finish up all of my preservative-free drops are just general lubricating eye drops for dry eye relief. So the difference is that these probably have preservatives in it, since these are just preservative-free drops. Aside from dry eye, I really don't have any issues with my eyes at this point. The only issue that I have with my vision is that at night I still have halos around headlights when I'm driving. It's not unbearable. It's not as bad as the halos that I had when I wore glasses at night driving. I know that when my sister had this procedure over a year ago, she had dealt with the same problem, and I explained it to the doctor. And in both cases, they both said that the halos will go away. So I'm pretty confident that in another month, I won't have that problem at night. And I'm, again, not really worried about it. My vision has been at 20/20 since the 1 day post-op appointment, and it stayed there. I feel really great about my vision. The best way that I can explain it, and I think I said this in one of the vlog clips, is that I feel as if I'm living my day-to-day life with my contacts in from the point that I wake up until I go to sleep, to the point where sometimes I kind of forget that I'm not wearing contacts. And that just tells you, one, that I was very dependent on my contacts, but two, that this procedure really puts me in a place where I wanted it to, and that I'm super, super happy and that my vision feels perfect to me. So overall, I'm sure you guys can tell that I really, really am glad that I got LASIK done. I am super happy with it. I'm super happy with the healing, with the downtime that I had. And aside from dry eye, which just comes from like looking at computer screens or having air blown into my eye, I don't really think about the fact that I'm still healing at this point, and I feel really great about this decision because it's really nice to be able to see and to not have to worry about my glasses or my contacts, and I know that this is going to last me for the rest of my life, hopefully. But overall, it was really, really easy to go through, and I've been enjoying the rewards of it already. So the last thing that I want to talk about, which is probably the biggest question that a lot of people have, is pricing of LASIK. Now, all of the pricing information that I'm going to give you is really relative to New York because that is where I live. So I am dealing with more tri-state area pricing. It's normally higher than certain areas of the country. It might be lower than other areas of the country. I'm not really sure how pricing works for eye surgeries throughout the country or the world. But in New York, I can tell you that from what I was seeing, from what I've heard from other people, and from what I paid myself, LASIK eye surgery for both eyes generally will price somewhere between $4,000 to $5,000. Different LASIK centers are going to charge different amounts, different surgeons might charge different amounts, and each center may be running a different promo, whether you were referred, whether you signed up during a certain time. Whatever it is, that's generally the price that you will see. From what I know and from what I dealt with, your eye insurance does not cover LASIK eye surgery because it is a voluntary procedure, but you can use flex spending, which is a part of your health insurance and eye insurance plan to pay for the procedure. So $4,000 to $5,000 is a lot to spend on a procedure. It's a lot to spend in a single time payment too. So I want to put that dollar amount into perspective. And I want to just step away from things like your out-of-pocket costs or, you know, whether or not you're opting for financing, and just talk about how $4,000 to $5,000 compares to not getting the procedure done. So the first thing that I want to consider obviously is the cost of my contacts. So I was wearing daily contacts. I personally had been wearing the AccuView 1-day moist contacts. I looked up the prices of those from 1-800-CONTACTS, and one box of 90 one-day contact lenses cost $63.99 after some sort of promotional discount that they were having. So it costs about $64 for one 90-day order of contacts. Now that is only 90 days for one eye, which means that every time that I was ordering a 90-day pack of contacts, I actually have to order 2 of those to see with both of my eyeballs. So that means that for 90 days, I was paying $160 or $159.98 to see. Since I was wearing contacts almost every day, I would have to have at least 4.4 boxes of contacts to get me through one contact a day for 365 days a year. So all in all, that brings me to about $704 a year. So that $704 a year was getting me one pair of contacts for everyday use, and I would dispose of them at the end of the day. So $704 a year is not a small cost, it is definitely a high cost. And in addition to having to wear contacts, I would need to wear glasses during those off hours that I wasn't wearing contacts. Now here's the thing, I don't really need to get a new pair of glasses every single year because my prescription had not changed prior to getting this surgery for about 10 years, I want to say. So that means that the last time that I bought new frames was about 4 to 5 years ago at this point, and I was really happy with those frames, and I wasn't planning on getting new frames. So frames are really, to me, a one-time fee. When I was younger, I used to get new frames every single year, so when I think about how much I was paying at that rate, you know, it might have been something like $300 a year for a new pair of frames and lenses. But at this point, I really wasn't paying that much, so I'm personally not going to calculate that into the cost comparison of LASIK eye surgery to wearing contacts. I was probably going to need to adjust my lens prescription at some point just because my most recent pair of lenses for my glasses were not perfect. So let's say that every 5 years you might need new lenses, or you might have broken your frames or something like that. So let's just put that amount in there as $100 a year that you would have had to spend on new glasses, because those glasses would probably last you somewhere around 4 years. So paying $804 for 5 years in a row would mean that I was spending somewhere around $4,020 in total. And over 6 years, I would be spending $4,824. So while somewhere in the range of $4,000 to $5,000 for LASIK eye surgery is a lot of money, and I will keep stressing that, after 4 to 6 years, you're really matching that cost, and it's going to be something that you would have paid over time. So if you can spend that money in one lump sum, or again, finance it and make it more affordable for yourself, it is something that ultimately you're going to spend anyway if you have really bad vision, and it will save you money because after 7, 8, 9, 10 years, now you've spent less money getting LASIK eye surgery than you would have getting daily contacts or, you know, wearing glasses. Now here's the deal. I have recommended LASIK eye surgery to all of my friends who were considering it. But when I told people that I know that love wearing their glasses on a daily basis and don't have any problem wearing glasses, I wouldn't say that they need to get LASIK, because glasses are much more affordable than wearing daily contacts. And if you like wearing your glasses and you like how they look on you and you don't have any problems wearing them to the gym or doing your workouts or whatever, or your vision's not really that bad, then maybe LASIK isn't going to be something that will pay off in the long run. But for someone like me who had really, really terrible eyesight, LASIK eye surgery was really something that I felt like would make a big difference in my life. It has already made a big difference in my life over just 1 month, and it's something that ultimately is going to save me money, although it was a big investment up front. So if I had to do it again, I would definitely get the LASIK eye surgery. I definitely recommend that you speak to your surgeon, research your surgeon. Don't just get it done anywhere, because, you know, the results may vary and you have to make an informed, educated decision by yourself. I am not a doctor. I am not an eye surgeon. I am just someone who had really bad vision and was sick of wearing daily contacts and glasses and worrying about, you know, whether or not I had enough contacts, running out of contacts, whether or not I had eye drop solution, whether or not I had contact cleaning solution on me. And I just didn't want that headache anymore. So I'm really happy with the surgery. Overall, I am really glad that I did it, and I guess that's all there is to say. So I hope that this video was really informative for you guys. If you've made it this far to the end, make sure you give me a thumbs up because you stuck around, and then I'll know that you stuck around. And yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye! And if you guys want to see some of the other content that I've put out, you can go ahead and click on those videos here, or click on my face to subscribe.